welcome to another video. I'm going to get my tea because that's the kind of mood we're in today. So, today's video, I tried to read too many books last week and I got myself in a reading slump. Specifically, a fantasy reading slump. So, I did what any good bookish person will do, which is I took a photo of my shelves and sent it into, actually my work group chat and said, hey guys, what book is going to get me out of a reading slump? And my colleagues delivered. So, in case you don't know, I work for Tandem Collective. We are all bookish freelancers. So, the whole group of people that I sent it to are readers. So I knew I was going to get some good recs from the people I work with. Now, when I'm in a reading slump, generally I want a palette cleanser, and depending on what I'm kind of slumping in, there's normally a few things that work. Thrillers are always a good palette cleanser for me. Thriller is my go-to genre for I can't be bothered to read anything. Like I'm slumping. For me, a good thriller, a good twisty, dark, what the actual fuck thriller, that's what I need. The other genre that works really well when I'm in a I don't want to read anything mood is romance. But today I'm just going to talk to you about the thrillers. So let's just get into it. If you can hear any squeaking in the background, Bracken has got a squeaky toy. I can hear a few dog toy squeaks. Apologies if anybody else can. I've got next to me here a stack of thrillers that I have been, that from my friends perusing my shelves have told me that I need to be prioritising. I'm going to go through these ones and then I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on whether or not I am going to read them. Because even though, my friends all know my reading taste and I said this is what I'm looking for, some of these are not a book that I want to read right now, and there's reasons for that. So this is in no particular order. Starting off with The Mysterious Case of the Alberton Angels by Janice Hallett. So my friend Lex recommended this one. It is told in mixed media. I really do want to read this, but I think I want to read Janice Hallett's books in order. I think I want to start with The Appeal. I haven't read anything by Janice Hallett yet. I really do want to, but I think I'm going to just sit on this one for a minute. However, really, really good shout, because I think mixed media could be the way to go. I know you don't need to read these in order, so depending on if my reading slump changes at all in the next couple of weeks, this one could be one that I'm reaching to soon. My next is another Lex recommendation, Do No Harm by Jack Jordan. So this one follows a surgeon whose child has been kidnapped and they are given an ultimatum, kill a patient on the operating table or never see your child again. So it's kind of that idea of, do you go against your beliefs and your oaths, especially as a doctor, or do you protect your child? I think this one is going to be really interesting. I don't know if it's a little bit too deep for what I'm wanting right now, but I think this is definitely one that I could be reaching to soon. Another Lex rec, I'm going to just actually caveat this by saying basically all of these books are recommendations from Lex. Lex is the thriller queen, so most of these have come from Lex. The Recovery of Rose Gold by Stephanie Roble. I have no idea what this book is about. I remember seeing it around Bookstagram a couple of years ago. When did it come out? Published in 2020. So yeah, I think a couple of years ago I remember seeing it doing the rounds. It's got a different title in the States. It's got a pair of scissors on it in the States. I don't know what it's called in America. The main character, Rose, believed that she was sick for 18 years. However, it turns out her mother was lying and feigning Rose's sickness. She's been in prison for 5 years and wants to reconcile with her daughter. I think this is going to be, again, very, very interesting. But I'm not I think, again, it's going to be a little bit too brain heavy for me right now. I know brain heavy is not a term, but what I mean is something where I've got to actually use my grey matter and think about things. I want something which is, you know, basically dead bodies, no thoughts. Appeared by Lisa Jewell. Again, Lex is just a massive Lisa Jewell fan, so she said she's always going to take the opportunity to recommend Lisa Jewell. I have read something by Lisa Jewell, I don't know what. The Family Upstairs I have read. So this is about a missing person, so I'm just going to read them from the back. A teenage mum heads out for a date, leaving her child at home with her own mother. The mother wakes up to discover that the girl has never come home, and she never returns. A year later, someone finds a sign nailed to a fence that says "dig here." Presumably they will find the original girl's body. This does sound interesting. This definitely could be going on the list because it does sound like it's going to be twisty, fast-paced, but not too heavy and complicated. So this one was in fact the first book that Lex recommended, like without seeing anything else, and she sent me a very long list of recs, but she just said, you need to read this book. And I was like, okay, why? That book is The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. Now this one actually surprises me as a rec because I've not heard many people speak about this book at all. Of Ruth Ware's books, I feel like this is not a very well-known one. So this is a cruise and someone wakes in the night by screams to see a body thrown overboard. However, the records show that there was nobody ever in the cabin. So was there ever a person there? Did she imagine someone being thrown overboard, or is she on the ship with a murderer? It does sound really interesting. This one actually is intriguing me. Next up, described as Epstein-esque, The Girls of Summer by Katie Bishop. Again, I'm sorry, this is the ARC. You can't actually very easily see the title on here. Again, classic. I don't really remember what this one is about. So this one is about a girl who has been in love with this man for like half of her life. He's 20 years older than her. She was 16 at the time and he was 20 years older, but she'd always loved him. She's reconnected with someone from that period of her life when she met this older man, and is now reevaluating what happened with him and like what their relationship and situation was. This does sound super interesting, but again, I feel like it's more of a thriller that I want to read when I'm not slumping. I don't think this is going to have the kind of fast-paced, dark, gritty I need to keep reading that I'm looking for right now. But it does sound really, really good. Next rep is Reputation by Sarah Vaughan. Emma Webster is a respectable MP. She's a devoted mother. She's innocent of the murder of a tabloid journalist. She is a liar. The story you tell about yourself and the lies others choose to believe. I think this one is going to be very, very interesting. But again, I feel like this is going to be a little bit more of a needing some brain power book. So do you want to read it? Probably not now. The next one, and this is one that I had picked up as I was going to read, and then I asked Lex's opinion and she was like, pick that book up. Without me even saying, should I read this? This is one that she said, you need to read this book right now. This is gonna get you out. That is The Last Passenger by Will Dean. So this book sounds fascinating and I am so, so excited to read it. So The Last Passenger is basically a woman is on a cruise ship, I believe. Yeah, a cruise liner. And suddenly everyone has disappeared. All of the other passengers, all of the crew, everyone has disappeared. And there is just a voice across the speakers telling this one woman like things that she has to do. So it's like, what's going on? Where is she? Where has everybody gone? What the fuck is happening? And that is exactly what I want. This book I am going to be reading this month. It is probably the next book I'm picking up. Next up, a not Lex rec, this is a Susanna rec, Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. Rebecca F. Kuang. So Yellowface, I really, really want to read. And Zoo had basically sent me like about 20 messages just saying Yellowface, 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 Yellowface. I do really want to read this. But again, I feel like this book deserves brain energy. I don't want to read this book while I'm not in a position to really give it the energy and attention that I feel like it deserves. So I'm not reading it right now, but I definitely do want to. And the final recommendation that I have been given for thrillers to get me out of a slump is The Devil and the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. So this one surprised me as a rec because this book is chunky. I mean, it's not that much smaller, bigger than The Last Passenger, to be fair. But I don't know what I feel about this one. I've not heard many people speak about it. I know it's been out for a few years now. It's a mystery on an epic scale, intricately plotted and expertly landed. I think this is 1634, so it's like a historical mystery, and a detective is travelling on this ship and something happens there. It sounds a little bit too deep for me right this minute, but it does sound good, and it is one that I'm really glad that I have been recommended, because it's been one that's been on my shelves for so long that I was kind of worried that I'm gonna lose interest in it altogether. So these are the 10 thrillers that I have been recommended to help get me out of a reading slump. Let me know if you have read any of those ones and if you think that they will get me out of a slump. Also let me know if you have any other thriller recommendations to get me out of my reading slump. I am excited to read quite a few of these. Well, in fact, I'm excited to read all of them, but then I'm not excited to read all of them right this minute. But I'm really glad that they have all been recommended to me, just because, again, I think that's going to really help me prioritise them later when I'm back being able to read, books again. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you have got any thriller recs for me, or if you have read any of these books, or what you would do to get out of a reading slump. If you like this video, please leave me a like, subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!